How's it going, everybody? And the best is the best. So there have been there before me, there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jake Covey, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed week this week with the news of the week, followed by Raw and SmackDown review. Then we go into our Money in the Bank predictions for 2023. We then have a reading from the Book of Rules, and then the Battle Droid of the Week. Let's get into the news this week, though, as we have a possible return coming in WWE, as Randy Orton is apparently being rumored to return, according to Kurt Angle, as he says he is doing great, and he is rumored to return very, very soon. Also, another rumored return happening as Carlito may be returning to WWE on the July 7th edition of SmackDown. Could it be possible? I would love to see Carlito back in WWE, ladies and gentlemen. He was an awesome wrestler. And finally, a very good wrestler in WWE and a very amazing man to Mike. Grayson Waller has been working through an injury. Apparently, his leg has been broken. I don't know if it's true. I don't know what's going on, but that is what's going on backstage, apparently. Apparently, he's been working through a broken leg, and that's why we haven't seen him wrestle. We have just seen him host a Grayson Waller effect. Let's get into your SmackDown review, as SmackDown kicked off with the Usos. They called Paul Heyman a snake, and Jey Uso said they are the best tag team in the world and will welcome Roman and Solo to the Uso Penitentiary. I'm so happy that it's back, ladies and gentlemen. I miss Uso Penitentiary. Though, again, I will always say that I missed their original gimmick of the Wild Samoans kind of tribute. I miss that. I really do. We then have LA Knight versus Rey Mysterio. It was a very good match. LA Knight was able to pick up the win. LA Knight tried to attack Rey after the match, but Santos Escobar would make the save. I don't know what this group is with the LWO. Like, I'm trying to figure out why they are still together. It was a cool little thing just to have at the Hall of Fame and just like, hey, we got your back if Judgment Day ever comes in. But to me, the group is unnecessary. Just my opinion. We then get Ridge Holland accidentally running into Solo Sikoa backstage. Solo Sikoa would then spike Ridge Holland. You would have Paul Heyman call Roman Reigns, and Sheamus would come out. Sheamus has been the unrecognized MVP for WWE this year. Matter of fact, I'll go back. He has been the unrecognized MVP since basically the pandemic started. He has been amazing. He has really had an amazing career, and it's funny, I think he's doing some of his best work. People are always focused on Seth Rollins, which understandably so, Roman Reigns and LA Knight. But look at Sheamus, man. Sheamus has been one of the best in WWE since COVID started, having that amazing run, that tournament with the Intercontinental Championship, then having a feud with Jeff Hardy, which was awesome, having a great United States Championship match with Matt Riddle, really pulling out what I thought was one of Riddle's best matches on the main roster, solo, and then just evolving the Brawling Brutes into what they've become today, helping get Butch on the main roster to where I truly see Butch as a main eventer in the future. He was going to be a main eventer, but this solidified it for me. So, Sheamus comes out and cuts a promo on Solo Sikoa, and it was just awesome. We then get the title unification match for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles versus the main roster Women's Tag Team titles of Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Excuse me. Versus Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Good match. Meh. Ronda Rousey just never impresses me in the ring. She's an amazing fighter. Unbelievable. Don't get me wrong. As an MMA fighter, one of the best ever. Maybe top 3 ever. Definitely probably the best women's fighter of all time. I will say that. But just in the ring, I don't get it. I don't see why people are so happy about her, and people can see why. So Rousey and Shayna Baszler cause a double submission, win the NXT Tag Team titles, and now I guess we'll have Raquel Rodriguez come out. Raquel Rodriguez comes out, cuts a promo saying, "We never lost the tag team titles, so we want a rematch." And what do they mean by we? Well, Liv Morgan comes back to WWE. She has made her return, and they will challenge for the titles at Money in the Bank. We then get Pretty Deadly coming out. Pretty Deadly, Grayson putting over Kit and Elton. Very cool. Still not a huge fan of them. Street Profits come out and drop their name, which leads to a match. Pretty Deadly was able to pick up the win after Kit held on to Elton's feet, causing Elton to make sure Angelo couldn't kick out. Okay, tag team match, nothing big. We then get Charlotte Flair basically squashing. Remember when Lacey Evans was in the main events of pay-per-views for the Raw Women's Championship? Well, now she's being squashed by Charlotte Flair. So we then get Solo Sikoa versus Sheamus. Awesome match, but it had to be ended by referee stoppage, as Solo Sikoa would put Sheamus through a barricade, and then you have Solo Sikoa about to attack Sheamus with a steel chair, but the Usos come out and make the save, hitting super kicks on their brother, and then hitting a splash on him to send the crowd home happy. This is a very, very cool SmackDown. It's definitely getting me excited for Money in the Bank. We then get the Go Home Raw for Money in the Bank, as Raw kicked off with Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. Dominic began to speak, trying to welcome the crowd to Monday Night Raw. Cody Rhodes then came out, called Dominic a scared little boy, and welcomed the crowd to Monday Night Raw. And we then get Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Damn, this was a good match. If this was on WrestleMania, this would have been match of the year quality. Watch your year candidate, no question. It still could be. I know it's on Raw, but damn it, was this a good match. Ricochet and Shinsuke Nakamura tore the house down. Really makes me wish we could see a championship match between them at a WrestleMania. Ricochet was able to pick up the win. Really enjoyed it. We then get a match announced for Money in the Bank as Matt Riddle will challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at Money in the Bank. Gunther would then attack Riddle, stomping on his ankle. We'll get more of that later on. We get Ronda Rousey versus Raquel Rodriguez. Quick match. Ronda Rousey was able to make her tap out. Liv Morgan comes in to make the save. We'll get that match at Money in the Bank. We then get an awesome promo by Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Finn on video, Seth in the arena. Both talking about how it will be a tough pill to swallow when the other loses. Just go watch these promos, man. These promos were perfect. This should have been the main event of WrestleMania. This should have been main event night 1. Finn versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I get why it wasn't. You had Finn going against Edge inside Hell in a Cell, and that's a hard one to turn down, so I can't blame Finn. But can you imagine if this was the main event of WrestleMania? Damn. Finn would then attack Seth Rollins, grab a steel chair, and attempt to hit Seth with the chair. But Carmelo Hayes, who was in the attendance, was able to stop Finn from hitting Seth, and it was made official that this will be a match later on tonight. We then get Tommaso Ciampa versus The Miz, as The Miz would attack Ciampa during his entrance, hitting a skull-crushing finale. I guess this is going to be a feud that's probably going to go into, that might go into early before SummerSlam. What I'm hearing is this feud's going to end right before SummerSlam, and it's going to lead to DIY reuniting and having a match of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus DIY. Holy shit, that could be a match. We then get Dominic Mysterio versus Akira Tozawa. Dominic Mysterio was able to pick up the win. Akira showed a little bit of fight, but it just makes you wonder, was Akira Tozawa doing in WWE? It really, I don't know. We then get a summit with all the women in the Money in the Bank ladder match. A brawl broke out and Becky Lynch was standing tall, climbing the ladder and posing with the briefcase. That's how a summit always ends, isn't it? Just want to point that out. We then get Intercontinental Champion Gunther versus Sami Zayn, as Sami Zayn was looking for a retribution of why Gunther attacked Riddle. So you would have a great match between them. Sami Zayn kicking out of everything till finally Gunther was able to put him down. Giovanni Vinci would make his return, and they would have Riddle come out to make the save and even the odds. You would then get Becky Lynch seeing the World Women's Champion Rhea Ripley backstage and saying the following: "When I was champion, I defended that title every week in the main event. Now it's only used to accompany you. You don't need the title, but the title needs Becky Lynch." Oh. We think of Finn Balor versus NXT Champion Carmelo Hayes in a great match, but it was Finn Balor able to pick up the win. People are pissed at this result. What do you expect? Finn Balor's going into a World Heavyweight Championship match. Unless Seth Rollins got involved and cost Finn the match, Carmelo was not winning this match. We then get Natalya challenging Rhea Ripley next week for the Women's Championship, the Women's World Championship. I wish it would put this match on Money in the Bank so we could get every person in Judgment Day having a match. And finally, in your main event, a great match between Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest. Awesome match, awesome job by Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest, really tearing the house down. Cody Rhodes would pick up the win and send the crowd home happy for Money in the Bank. With all the matches basically being announced, let's go into it. As the men's Money in the Bank ladder match has Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, and Logan Paul. Who I think's going to win this match? LA Knight or Butch? And here's why I throw Butch in there. Butch may win and go back to his Pete Dunne persona, and the Bruiserweight would be awesome to hold the Money in the Bank contract. Or you would have LA Knight win it and cash in on Seth Rollins to become the new World Heavyweight Champion and be one of the few people to hold the TNA title, Impact title, and WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Just want to say how cool that would be. So my picks, your Butch or LA Knight, and I'm leaning more LA Knight. Yeah. We then get Zelina Vega versus Becky Lynch versus Zoe Starks versus Bayley versus Io Sky versus Trish Stratus for the Women's Money in the Bank Championship contract. I want to go with Io Sky, but I'm going with Becky Lynch, and here's why. Becky Lynch, to hold that, would basically be the cherry on the end of her career. Be awesome to see. And she could actually lose her cash in due to Trish Stratus, and that could lead to a match at SummerSlam. That's the only reason why I would see that happening. If not, Zelina Vega will win and cash in and become maybe women's champion, and that would be awesome to see. We then get Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio. Cody Rhodes is going to win this match. If he doesn't, it's because Brock Lesnar interferes and costs him the match. But my pick is Cody Rhodes. We then get the Bloodline versus the Usos. I picked the Usos to win this match, and here's why I think the Usos are going to win. And then you're going to have Jay or Jimmy challenge Roman at SummerSlam for the title. We then get Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Ronda Rousey and Baszler are going to retain. They'll lose the titles at SummerSlam, and that will start the push for Rousey versus Baszler at WrestleMania, where Baszler will finally pick up the win over Rousey. And finally, Gunther versus Matt Riddle. Yeah, I didn't talk about Seth versus Balor, but I will in a second. Gunther versus Matt Riddle. Gunther's going to retain, and I don't know where he's going to go after that. I don't know. We think it's Seth, and finally, Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. Seth Rollins is going to retain, and this is going to lead to a huge match at SummerSlam, where it should be in the main event, and then you're going to have LA Knight cash in on Seth Rollins and become World Heavyweight Champion in the main event of SummerSlam. But those are my predictions for Money in the Bank, and you know what? I could use a drink. How about Alexander's Sister's Cocktail? This is as green as they come. It's a medium alcohol drink, but very good. So you're going to take an ounce of gin, an ounce of cream de menthe, and an ounce of cream. You're going to put in a shaker, fill it up with ice, pour in your gin, cream de menthe, and cream. Shake well, and then strain into a martini glass. Amazing green. It's going to be as green as that Money in the Bank briefcase, and a perfect drink for Money in the Bank in England. I would recommend using London's Dry Gin. How cool would that be? There you go. And in a martini glass, shaken, not stirred. And now we're reading from the Book of Rules. A briefcase containing a guaranteed WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Suspend above the ring. The superstars unhook the briefcase is the winner. The contract championship match is good for 365 days before it expires. The holder of the Money in the Bank briefcase may cash it in at any time and any place. The bell must ring for the cash-in attempt to be valid. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Battle Droid of the Week. Oh, the Battle Droid of the Week is simple. I mentioned it earlier. It is Akira Tozawa. Akira, what are you doing in this WWEH? I love him. He's an awesome wrestler, great performer, but he needs a character. He needs something else. What's his character? Asuka works on the Empress of Tomorrow because it's awesome. Akira Tozawa has nothing. Nothing at all. I want him to have something else. I want him to come out and be like, I truly believe. Like, even when he had the ninja gimmick, I understood. Okay, he thinks he's a ninja. It sucks, but it's way better than just being nothing. What is his gimmick? What the fuck is Akira Tozawa doing on the main roster? And because of that, I hope not to give it to him again, Akira Tozawa, you are the Battle Droid of the Week. Congratulations.
Uh-oh.
Thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Go Home show for Money in the Bank. I'm so excited for it. I can't wait till next week to see what happens, to see who holds on to the contract. Maybe we'll get a cash in at that very show. Who knows? It's going to be fun, though, and I am excited for it. Thank you very much for listening. I have been the Big Guy. This has been Wrestling Made Simple. Enjoy Money in the Bank, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great week in wrestling. A little short episode, but still fun.